So I'm doing a video on presence. What presence means to me. As you can see, I'm in Istanbul. Over here, well, you can't see, and I'm not going to be able to move the camera, but over here, Sophia Mosque. I'm not a tour agent or any sort, so I'm not going to go on about that. I just thought, nice scenery. Whilst I talk, I can give people something to look at. Anyway, so mainly the idea of the video is maybe to bring myself some presence in this current moment, because I'm being present. Arrived in Istanbul yesterday, and I was late going to bed last night, and I haven't meditated for almost best part of the week. And so I thought, you know what, this would be an exercise to maybe bring me into the present moment and explain what presence is to me. And it is everything, ultimately. Presence is the only way to really live. So for me, an issue I used to have when going away with my ex-partner would be she would often take pictures obsessively and videos and all the rest of it, so she could post on social media. Now this caused quite a lot of tension between us, because she was never present there with me, and being that we were both from different parts of the world, so we would only see each other for a limited time. This aggravated me. I didn't handle it so well, and so for me, since being here, I never really used social media previously, but I started to use it a little bit now, and I feel like I'm connecting with people. So it's something that I will progress with, and and move forward with in the future. But I need to check my motives, right? So when I'm taking pictures or when I'm taking videos, I always check my motives. Am I taking these pictures or videos for the benefit of others, or is it for myself? And and when I say for the benefit of others, it's for the ego, right? I'm here and this is what I'm doing, and that's not really what I'm about. And I'm not saying that's what people do, but it is something you can get caught up in. And for me, I always have to be very careful of my ego, because my ego will take me away from the present moment. So right now it's a good practice for me to just talk about what the process of presence is, being taken away from what's around me, scenery, and being in the mind. And my ego is ruthless in that it will take me to every possible place but here, if I'm not careful, And why would I want to be anywhere else but here right now? It defeats the object. And so I have to be very careful with certain things that I do. So that's why I ground myself in the morning with meditation. And if it wasn't for meditation, I wouldn't have an understanding of presence. And presence is, it's being without any problems, really, because if you're in the present moment, you don't have thought. And what does thought create? Thought creates problems. Thought of the future, thought of the past. What am I going to do tomorrow when the rent is due? What am I going to do tomorrow when my credit card bill is due? In this moment, it's not relevant, right? It is not relevant. We have to apply practical measures to these things, but ultimately, you only need to issue so much attention to these things, because once you've gone beyond logistics and practical affairs and how you can approach these things, you go into a form of worry and stress. And stress, I believe, and I'm not going to go on statistics because I don't have any statistics, but I believe it's the number one cause of most physical ailments and sickness, right? If you overwork yourself, if you don't rest, constantly in the mind, you're eventually going to come down with something. You'll run yourself down, right? And that's due to stress, right? Because you're overloading the body and you're overloading the mind. If you overload the mind, you're more likely to fall ill to something. If you overload the body, it just needs some rest and some nutrition. So I always have to try and just bring myself back to the present moment. Whether it be doing something a little bit crazy, hence why a lot of people do what they do in regards to extreme sports. They're searching for that rush, because at split second when you're not paying attention and you're doing something like skiing or whatever, take your eye off the ball and you could seriously injure yourself. So it's that presence, that rush that people get from being in the present moment, which is why they do these things. Skydiving. If you're skydiving, you're jumping out of a plane, you're not thinking about anything else but that present moment. And so, it's okay. And so this is why people, they do that, they do these things to get that high, that rush, and adrenaline is part of it. Yeah, adrenaline doesn't just come from walking down the road, but it's an immense feeling just to be present, just taking the scenery without actually processing things. Without having to associate words or dialogue with anything, just to take in things as they are, right? You don't need to label it, you just take it in, right? It is just what it is. So that's beauty in it, without any mental dialogue, without any word association, and ultimately I think that's something people don't understand. When you're happy and you're in the moment, and when maybe you're just falling in love with something, right? And you're just abundantly present. You're abundantly present in every cell of your body. I don't think people understand what presence is. I don't know. I get the impression that it's like exclusive to a number of people, and people do experience it. But they're not entirely sure what it is. And you can experience it through your faith. If you're connected to a higher power, you can experience it because you have faith in the fact that you're taken care of, right? You're taken care of. You don't have to focus on what's going to go wrong, because you do what's necessary. You do the next right thing, whatever's in your power, and then you kind of have faith. I don't know how I've gone on for. I've gone on for about 8 minutes. I mean, I could go on about this subject for a long time, but I'm hungry right about now. And I think I may have served the purpose for myself, just processing this and kind of narrating it, and just centering myself a little bit more. So I think I'm going to leave it at that. Again, it's mainly for me why I do this, but again, maybe this can have value, for somebody else. And I've banged on, so if you've watched this for 9 minutes, I think I've done something right.